young people here are doing their degrees. They're doing medicine, they're doing engineering, they're doing accounting, and one student says, I'm going to study history. And their parents say, what? What are you going to do with history? Well, who's going to give you a job? Where are you going to go to work? You know, where are you going to get employed? History doesn't pay the bills. Don't study history. So we took our smartest kids, our smartest men and women, and we made them doctors. We made them engineers. We made them programmers. We made them architects. And we did not care to make them what? Historians, political scientists, sociologists, anthropologists, psychologists. No. And you know what? As a nation, we decided an entire generation of people should just be workers. We're just workers. I mean, a doctor, with all due respect to doctors, is skilled labor. It's labor. You're a laborer. You're specialized, but you're still laboring. And an architect is still a laborer, a work in a specialized field. Who's doing the thinking on behalf of this ummah? Who's thinking on behalf of this ummah? Who's restoring our identity as an ummah? The best of our minds are not being used because they're too busy doing other things. I want you to study this and study that. And you know, the sad thing is if you ask, why are you studying this? Why are you in this career? You know what the answer is most of the time? Number one answer, my parents told me. Number two answer, it's a good job. That's it. So the only legacy we're leaving for our next generation is the most important thing in your life is looking for a good job. I'm not against getting a good job. By the way, get a good job. I'm all for it. But you know what? The world needs more than just people that make money and one or two careers. You know, I would argue if I had it my way, historians would be, and historians and theologians and people that are studying psychology and sociology, they would be the highest paid professors. They'd be the highest paid researchers, in my opinion. Because they're the people who impact how society operates. You know, they give direction to society. And if they have an Islamic mindset, man, they can bring a lot of good to the world. So even if, for the young people here that are studying, while you're studying accounting, mashallah, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, on the side, take as many history courses as you can. Learn as much about other things as you can. Things that actually, make you a refined human being, a deeper thinker. Learn sociology. It's an important subject. There's a lot of sociology in the Quran. There's a lot of psychology in the Quran. There's a lot of political science in the Quran. And somebody says, no, but I want to be a doctor because there's embryology in the Quran. Yeah, in like one or two ayat, there's some reference to it, but it's not at the heart of it. At the heart of it is human engagement, So these humanities, they are important and we have to restore them from the Islamic perspective. This is a critical thing, and of course, history is at the center of that. Everyone has a different lot in life. Everyone has a different set of challenges, a different set of opportunities. Then the question arises, why? Why not all of us have the same thing? Why not all of us have the same set of challenges? Make it consistent. قُلْ كُلٌّ يَعْمَلُ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِهِ. Tell them, let everyone work. Everyone should work. كُلٌّ يَعْمَلُ actually means everyone should try to work. Everybody should try to work on their shakila. Now what is shakila? Shakl in Arabic is form. Shakl is the appearance of something and the mold of something. You can even say the shape of something is shakila. In a figurative sense, you can call it, I use psychological terminology now, your predisposition. You're pre-programmed a certain way. Some people have a good sense of humor, some people are very serious, some people are oriented towards science, others towards literature, some are very artistic, some are, they have a hard time figuring out what they are, but they know how to have a good time. There are people with different personalities. Different shakilat, you can say. Allah says everybody, first of all, recognize what Allah has given you, what kind of personality Allah has given you, and then work in accordance with that. In other words, shakila, you see the ta marbuta at the end, makes it actually a marra, meaning an instant, an individual thing. Not two people have the same shakila. Allah made personalities very, very, very different. And everybody should try to figure out what their personality is like as much as they can. And then, in accordance with that, figure out what is the most they can make of their opportunities. What are the most they can, and what are the challenges in their personality, what are some shortcomings they have, and how can they overcome them. This is actually a very powerful concept at the individual level, but it's so powerful that Allah in another place in the Quran even describes this at the level of nations. You know one of the names for nations in the Quran, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. Shu'uban comes from the word sha'ab or shu'bah in Old Arabic, which actually means a dent or a crack in a wall. An imperfection is a sha'b. It's an imperfection. As if to say every nation has some good qualities, but some quirks. And nations have to get to know each other, so they learn from each other's strengths. Because one nation's strength is another nation's weakness, and one nation's weakness is another nation's strength. In my culture, there are some things that are really bad. I should learn from another nation. Like if I'm a Desi, our dietary habits are really bad. So maybe I should learn from another nation that has much healthier eating practices, whose 70-year-olds go jogging, where our 40-year-olds are on a cane. So maybe there's something wrong with our culture that we can learn from another culture. That's at the level of nations even. But even at the level of an individual, if someone's able to recognize their weaknesses, then they're able to make connections, make friends, put themselves around people that cover for that weakness. That they recognize that weakness and they cover for that weakness. You see, if you surround yourself with people that have the same weaknesses as you, they have the same problem as you. Like if you have a terrible sense of humor, you have no restrictions on your sense of humor, and you become friends with other people who also have no breaks in their sense of humor, not very good things will come out of that relationship. Maybe someone in this relationship should have what? Some sense of, okay guys, that's enough. Let's cut it out. You see what I'm saying? Somebody has to be there. But if, by the way, if everybody's super serious, and you're serious and all your friends are super, that's a very depressing life. You need somebody to stir things up. قُلْ كُلُّ يَعْمَلُ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِهِ. Now in terms of deen, in terms of what Allah wants you to do with your life, everybody should, instead of complaining, or you only get happy when good things happen, and you get super depressed when bad things happen, the reality of it is, each of you will have your share of good and bad in this world, and you need to make the most of it given your personality, given your shakila. فَرَبُّكُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ هُوَ أَهْدَى سَبِيلًا. Then your master knows who is more guided in terms of a path. You know, and he didn't say as-sabil either, he said sabilan. He made it actually, this is a tamyiz of it, in terms of a path, suggesting that each one of us will have a course, depending on our shakila.